Hello and welcome to Preparing for Success in 2020. Okay, so let's begin. And just for the people that don't know me here, this is a picture of me speaking at the Traders Expo in New York in March earlier on this year. And as always, we'll start with a quick disclaimer. Just bear in mind all comments I make here are for educational purposes only. You all know there's a high degree of risk involved in all types of trading, and we're not responsible for your trading and investment results. Now, who are you listening to? Well, it's a little bit about me. You can read it. And to tell you why you're reading that TRADESMART is a trading education business, and we focus on teaching you how to read the market professionally and how to run a successful trading business. And that includes how to develop your own trading plan and strategies which fit your personality and lifestyle, and that's key. And that I have found to be the distinguishing factor between those that are successful and those that are not. Finding a system, a way of trading that fits you and fits your lifestyle. Very important. What you should do now is, again, we live in a very, very interesting times. There's lots of distractions. Just turn your cell phone off, turn social media off, and just focus 100% on what we're going to cover, as this may very well be a turning point in your life, as it has been for many people that have been to this presentation or other ones that I have done, and they've gone on to, and I'm going to share with you some of those case studies later on of lives that have been changed, and it's an incredible thing doing it through trading. So you are in the right place if you're not satisfied with your results in 2019. You're looking for new opportunities setting up in 2020. You want to feel prepared for 2020, and now's the time to start doing that. And you want to get your questions answered today, and we'll take Q&A at the end. I have Mike in the background who helps me run the trading room. Mike's someone I trained over 10 years ago, and he's an excellent trader. And for those of you in the trading room, you know Mike. And you've got to know Mike as well, and you see how good a trader he is and how good he is at giving over information, teaching you as well what he's learned. I always learn something when I listen to Mike as well. So here's what we have in store for you. We're going to take a look at what happened in 2019. We're going to look at the major markets and what we can learn from it, because if you look back at what happened, you want to take those lessons into the future and recognize them, the markets as they set up going forward, because that's where the money's going to be made. Recognizing opportunity as it happens in real time. Not, and I'm going to say this because it's only going to be one time we're going to have this year 2020. You don't want 2020 to be a hindsight year, yeah? You want 2020 to be the best year of trading you've ever had. The best year of trading you've ever had, and the best year you've ever had in your life. So you want to be able to spot the opportunities that are still left in 2019. And what I'm going to do is reveal some of the opportunities that are setting up in 2020. Sounds great saying that, 2020. And here's what you need. Here's what you need to prepare for 2020. I'm going to take you through the steps that you need to go through in order to prepare for the upcoming year. And this is what you could do every year. So stay until the end. There's a bonus. Every attendee is eligible for a 30-minute coaching session, and details will be revealed at the end of this presentation. I'm going to also reveal how you can get 3 months free in my live trading room. So you can come and join us for our weekly preparation session on Sunday, where we prepare for the upcoming week. And for those of you who are subscribed to that already in this room, you see the value in that. There's people that are subscribed just to that, and they use that to help them prepare for their trading and spotting trading opportunities on a week-by-week basis. Then we also have our live room, which runs from Monday to Thursday, and those of you who are here that are in the room see the value in that as well. So we analyze the markets in real time. We actually take trades, and we'll show you trades that we're in and what we're looking to take as well. And you can build on our experience and as we navigate the markets. And again, it's a great room to be in. A lot of high caliber people in the room, a lot of very successful people in the room. And if you come and join our community, it's fun as well. Okay, you're going to have fun, you're going to learn about trading, and you'll get lots of trading opportunities as well. So before we jump into the charts, I want to take you through my approach to trading is very simple. It wasn't very simple at the beginning. It was very overwhelming at the beginning because there's so much out there. I started trading a system based on, I traded professionally for an institution, and I was taught to trade the New York Stock Exchange specialist system. But when the New York Stock Exchange went hybrid, that means part computer, part human, the system that I was taught to trade no longer worked. Eventually the trading floor closed down and I went to actually work for another trading floor. I went to work for a fund, a private fund. And eventually I moved on to another trading floor after that. So I worked on a number of trading floors. I've worked at Credit Suisse as well, in both in London and New York. And what happened was the system that I was trading no longer worked. So it was back to the drawing board. And then I went through stages like most of you, when I tried every single indicator under the sun. I tried to get everything to work. My charts, you couldn't even see the candlesticks on them because they were so full of indicators. And a few indicators were saying, I used to have a system, a few indicators said buy, some said sell. If the majority said buy, I would buy, but then it would go down. And I couldn't kind of figure out how to do it until I stripped out all the indicators and went back to basics. My style of trading or system of trading is based on price action alone, based on the price alone, yeah? And our view on price is using these Japanese candlesticks. So that's our view on price. Now I'm assuming no one's a complete beginner and you want to understand a little bit about Japanese candlesticks, but if you don't, let me know. Just raise your hand, just say something in the chat area and I'll explain very briefly what they are. But put that aside for the now. The only three things you need to learn, or really four things, but three things in multiple time frames, is understanding pivot analysis. That will tell you what trend you're in. Okay, you need to know what trend you're in when you're trading. If you're in an uptrend, a downtrend, or a sideways trend, you need to know exactly when that trend begins and exactly when that trend ends. And we do that based on candlesticks alone. No moving averages, because they are usually a lagging indicator. They tell you you're in a trend after you're already in the trend. And sometimes when they set up, the trend may end. We want to know exactly when a trend begins and ends, and we're going to know that in the candlestick. So once you know what trend you're in on the multiple time frames, for example, you can be in an uptrend on the daily chart, but a downtrend on the 1 hour chart. So if you want to engage the daily trend, the uptrend, wouldn't it be a good idea to get into that trend when the downtrend on the 1 hour chart ends in an area on the daily chart where it's likely to continue moving to the upside? Wouldn't that be a good place to get into the trade? That makes sense, yeah? So that's pivot analysis, what I call how to read the trend. Then you need to know supply and demand. You need to understand, and you can see here I have zones here, and we're going to jump into the live markets. I'm going to show you opportunities based on those. Supply and demand are the areas in the market where price moves from and to. Trends begin and end most of the time in areas of supply and demand. So if you're engaged in the trend, an uptrend, you want to know where it may come to an end and where you want to maybe buck the trend or wait for the trend to end in that zone and then take the other side of the trade, or at least get out of your long trade or short trade. So that's supply and demand. That tells you where from and to the market's likely to move on multiple time frames again. And then you want to know something called price direction analysis. And again, you won't find this price direction analysis anywhere else or in any book, anywhere. And I've taught this to many professional traders that work in institutions and also retail traders like yourself. Unless we have some professional traders here, sometimes we do. So price direction will tell you what direction is price currently moving in. Is it moving up or down? And you will know exactly when it changes from up to down or down to up. It's very simple once you learn how. And for those of you, I know some of you are in here now that have learned that, it's very, it's mind-blowing, to say the least. It's simple and super powerful. And it can give you an idea, for example, again, let's take our uptrend example. You're in an uptrend on the daily chart and the downtrend on the 1 hour chart changes, plus the price direction on the daily chart changes from down to up. You're now pointing up on the daily chart. You're in an uptrend. The downtrend on the 1 hour chart has now ended. That's a great place to start looking to enter the trade. And then you need to know where your next supply level is if you're buying as a potential target. And again, I've mentioned multiple time frame analysis. That's like the backdrop for everything. You have to understand where you are in the bigger time frames. And that's, for example, taking a bird's eye view. If you're in an uptrend, for example, on the 1 hour chart, but you're getting into a supply level on the daily chart, that might not be a good place to get into the trend. It may come to an end there. As a saying goes, a trend is your friend until the bend in the end. So I believe, if you look at the quote at the bottom, the charts will teach you all you need to know once you have a framework for reading them. And that's exactly what I'll share with you later on, how to go about doing that. The framework is this: price action analysis using, number 1, pivot analysis, 2, supply and demand analysis, and 3, price direction analysis, and doing that on multiple time frames. Once you can do that, you have a framework for reading any market. You will be able to understand what is happening and why it's happening in whatever market you choose to look at. Once you have that, then you'll be able to develop your own strategies depending on how you want to get into the market, manage your risk, and manage your trade. There's many ways to do it. And I've trained many traders over the years, and everyone trades their own style and becomes successful in their style within this framework. So the framework puts the odds in your favor. And once you develop a strategy, you'll be able to take advantage of those odds. So you can have many people trading within this framework, different styles, and all successful once they find a style, an approach that fits them. And again, you don't need anything else. I'm going to show you that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look back to 2019. We're going to jump into the charts, and I'm going to, once I've shown you this, and then what we're going to do is look forward to 2020 of what might be setting up. And then after we've gone through the charts, I'm going to share with you how you should go about preparing for 2020. So let's jump straight into the charts. It's going to pull up, and okay, you guys can see. Now let's start actually with the E-minis, which is our view on the S&P 500. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to focus more on the monthly and the weekly chart. Now, if we look at what happened this year, the market started out over here this year, and we went up, and we pushed up, and we went into an uptrend here. So pullbacks on the smaller time frames are buyable, and that's what we've said basically the whole year. Almost every single month apart from these 2 months, which is August and May, were up months. And December will most likely end up, as opposed to December last year, which was a down month. I mean, that's the Santa rally, yeah? It went the other way, it rallied down. So basically the best play in the market this year was to be on the long side, and that's what we kind of said in our trading room almost every single day, yeah? Buy pullbacks to demand on the lower time frames. Now, what's so powerful about the market at the moment? Why is it that the market keeps going up? Even when it seems to break trend on the smaller time frames, it kind of, like over here, we broke trend here on the daily chart. We came down and went below this area. But what happened here? We came back up and put in a higher low here. Price direction still up, and again, more about that later. And we've been going up ever since. And pullbacks to demand buyable. We've just made new highs today. Yeah. Today, a number of hours ago, we just hit new highs. You can see this on the lower time frame. So when you have a situation, and we're talking about multiple time frames, where the monthly, the weekly, and the daily chart are all uptrending, all price direction pointing up, and all between supply and demand because they're making new highs, then you want to buy pullbacks to demand and keep doing that until the trend changes on the higher time frames, on the daily, the weekly, or the monthly. If something changes here, like it did here, then even this was bought at a demand level, and once the trend changed again, and we did put in, if you notice what happened here, we came down here and we were on a lower time frame, and we said more than likely we're going to go back up again. Why? Because the trend changed here on the daily chart, but the monthly and the weekly are still uptrending. So eventually the monthly and the weekly are going to pull the daily back into line, and that's exactly what happens until it doesn't happen, and then you know something else is happening. So this is what we look at every single day in our live trading room. So what do I expect to happen in the upcoming year? Well, at the moment, it's looking like the E-minis or the market will continue moving higher until the trend changes on, at least on the weekly chart. So pullbacks to demand are still buyable. And you can see I've drawn a number of zones here. Once any of those demand zones are broken, then we have to start thinking again. That's what I call keeping your finger on the pulse of the market. The market will tell you what to do step by step. You and anyone in the trading room, and I'll have some people here that are in our live trading room that can tell you exactly the same, and you can come and join us tomorrow. As soon as tomorrow, you can join us in the live trading room. And you'll see we do exactly that. And I can even show you this works on the much smaller time frames like we did today, as we looked at the pound and the euro for some people in our trading room that trade those on the smaller time frames, opportunities that presented themselves, and they took those trades and were profitable on them. So let's look at gold. Now gold, this is the most beautiful trade, the most simple trade once you know what you're doing with gold. And again, last year I talked about this opportunity, the opportunity down and the opportunity up. But this year, if we look over here in 2019, the play of the year was to take this trade over here and play it up to this area. Now, again, you can go and search on YouTube videos, and you can look on my YouTube channel. I talked about this trade as it was setting up step by step, almost on a week by week basis. If you follow the analysis that I do, and I did for the timing research show, and I used to put a video out called Where's the Dollar Going Next, and you'll see a similar analysis there, step by step. I had someone, a postgraduate PhD student, a PhD like postdoctoral research, who went through all those videos and analyzed them, and he was astounded at the results. He would have followed every single suggestion of where the market was likely to go. He would have been super profitable. So just show you this, super accurate, and we read the market as it plays out. Again, no one knows what the market is going to do. All you know is if the market does X, then Y is likely to happen with a certain probability, and that's what you can trade. It doesn't mean it's going to happen all the time, and it doesn't need to happen all the time. But most of the time is good, like 80% of the time. You know that 4 out of 5 trades that you take, or 8 out of 10, or 80% of your trades are going to be profitable if you follow a certain system. So what is this trade? I'm going to teach you something a little bit. Again, this is something new that I've never really shared in a live kind of presentation before to the general public. This is a base on gold. Okay, I hope to put out in the new year some training about bases, which will go through all the different types of bases there are and how to trade them, whether you should be buying, and a lot of the times we buy before the base breaks. This is the top of the base here, this area. If I were to put, say, a line here, that's like kind of, you can see the base here, it's going up and down, and here it broke. But we got into the trade down here. Now, for those of you who followed me, we said we got to the top of the base here. I said we're going to have a pullback, but it's not going down to the bottom of the base. So if you have a base, yeah, and I'm going to share, listen carefully, and you've hit the top of the base at least 3 times, and you come back up again, and you pull back and you don't go down to the bottom of the base, and you turn, this is a price direction change. The odds are breaking the top of the base very, very high. This was our entry into the trade. This was our entry last year at the bottom of the base. This was our entry this year to play it up to this area. This is the area of supply that we had marked out ahead of time. We talked about this being the 1600 zone. Take the trade from 1300 to 1600 is around a $300 move. Okay, that was a long-term trade that you could have been in for. If you would have got in maybe on the end of this month, you would have gone in here 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and it hit the target. And remember, the target's a zone. I say 1600, I don't mean exact the price, I mean into this zone. And you see it hit here, here, right now. So that was the play of the year for gold, and it was a super easy trade once you recognize it. And again, on the monthly chart. What's going to happen with gold in the upcoming year? Well, if we look at this chart again, you can see we're moving down from supply. So usually we move down until we hit demand. It's a bullish market. If you notice, we're putting higher lows, higher highs, and we may get another higher low. We may go up from here if we're not able to move back. But I think the odds are here that we will potentially move back down to the top of the base and maybe turn and go higher. If the market is super strong in the upcoming year, we're going to hold this area, pivot here, and go higher and break this area and take out and make new highs. So that could be a possibility in the upcoming year. But at the moment, gold is bullish, and this is just a pullback in the context of a bullish market until it's not, obviously. But at the moment, there's no reason to, long term to be on the sell side of gold unless you're taking a pullback. If you're selling up here, you're selling a pullback. So you have to understand the context. Now, if you go down to the lower time frames, you will see, selling a pullback sometimes can be a downtrend on the lower time frames. You can see at the moment the market's kind of choppy sideways, and we're going, even on the daily chart, we're kind of going sideways between this area and this area. Okay, let's move, and again, I'll address questions towards the end, okay? So if you have any questions, let's leave them to the end, and I can keep with the flow of what we're doing here, because I want to cover quite a lot. Okay, oil. Now I know Mike is still in oil, and Mike picked up oil down here. Yeah, down into this area. Now, if we look at oil, it's been a bit of a choppy kind of year, but if you look at the beginning of the year, we're in demand. So what did oil do in 2019? Well, it pushed up to supply, came back down, and then started going sideways here. Down, spiked up, down, and now we're going up again. And if we look at the pivots here, which is I think what Mike's playing, we've got a higher low, here we've got a higher high, higher low. Price direction is up, so we expect to make a new high above here. So the potential for oil is to go back up to this level, which I'll call the 75 level, if it's able to get above these levels. At the moment, that's what it's looking like, and you can see we're moving to the upside, and we had a nice move today. So if you're an intraday trader, you want to buy pullbacks to demand in oil. But you have to bear in mind, if you look at the weekly charts, we said before, we're kind of sideways, and you can see the base here. We're at the top of the base area here. So we could very well, if we're not able to get through this area, come back down again. And we'll continue moving in this sideways range, which is around 51 to say 62. Let's move on to, we've looked at gold, oil. Let's look at the dollar. Okay, so I hope you're getting some idea about how we look at the market and how we view. And if you take a top-down approach and go from the monthly chart down, and understand what your expectations are on the trade, then you can make much better trading decisions. It kind of makes sense. It's like piecing a puzzle together with all the components, and you understand exactly why you're taking action because you're in control. You understand how to read the market, and you understand what's likely to happen next based on what's happening right now, what the odds are. And that's exactly what you need to be able to do to make those trading decisions. As you get more experience within that framework and you stick with it, you will build what we call a trader's gut, which is a trader's sixth sense. When you kind of know subconsciously what's gonna happen next. Like for me, the gold trade was exactly that. I'm like, it's gonna come down. I mean, for those of you who heard me live say that before it played out, and again, you can go and have a look at some timing research videos over the year. It was like once a week, and I talked about gold, the gold trade, long gold, long gold. It's going to pull back, buy it when it turns, you know. It was so crystal clear to me because I've seen that scenario so many times over the 15 or so years I've been trading. So what do we see from the beginning of the year with oil and with the dollar, the dollar index? This is our view on the dollar. So we come into the year with a kind of uptrend. And at the beginning of the year, we turn to the upside and we make a higher high, higher low, higher high, and now we've come down. And we've gone down twice here. You see these two bars, and bounced back twice and bounced back. And now we've gone down with a solid bar and pushed back, and now we've gone to the downside. This is supply. And we could draw the supply zone. If I wanted to, I could remove it. I could draw it to the bottom of the zone here. And you can see why we went down twice here, because we're in supply. That produced this move down. Okay, that's what you want to look for. You want to look for where big moves begin and end. This is a big move to the downside. It's 1 month, 2 months, 3, 4, 5 months down. That's a big move, and we came up to that area. So when we come up for the first time, it's most likely we're going down. A second time down. Third time, we actually closed down, but we're still uptrending here on the monthly chart. But remember what I said earlier. Trends come to an end in areas of supply and demand. We're in supply. So this uptrend may be coming to an end. How would I know? Well, if we break below this area, that's the end of the uptrend on the monthly chart. And if that is the case, what you want to be doing in the upcoming year, if we break that area, is selling moves up to supply and taking it all the way down again, if that's what it does. If we hold this area and continue moving up, you want to continue playing on the long side, at least up to here. Potentially here as well, but again, more about that as we go through the year. And if you join our trading room, you'll see us talk about this on a day-by-day basis, what the game plan is, on a week-by-week basis on our weekly preparation session. So you will know, you'll have a plan of action. Again, how can you trade without a plan? Without a plan of action, without a game plan, how can you sit at the charts, which is what most of you are probably doing, which is what most beginning novice traders do. They come to the charts and they just trade the moves. It's going up, let's buy, and then as soon as they get in, it goes down. And they're trading, their emotions are driving them. If you can relate to that, just type a yes in the room. You probably can relate to that, because I started out like that, even though I was trained professionally. I was trained by professional traders on a professional trading floor. But still, you know, I'm a human being, and as human beings, we're not wired in the right way for success as a trader. It's amazing. And again, for those of you who are in here and have had some trading experience, you can understand. If you focus, I'll give you one little bit, kind of tidbit here. If you focus on money while you're trading, you're doomed. Yeah. If you focus on money, what you're going to do is probably going to lose money. And if you go back through your trading records, which is what you should do, and write down the days where you were thinking about making money, you probably had losing days. If you go back and focused on doing a good job as a trader, as in being disciplined at following your trading plan, then you probably had winning days, because your job as a trader when you're trading is to follow your plan. There's no emotions there. You're just following a plan that you know produces results. So why wouldn't you do that? You've got a plan in front of you that you've proven has a positive expectancy and makes you money over time. All you need to do is execute. No questions. In the live market. Once you finish trading for the day or the week, you need to go over what you did and analyze, did I follow my plan? Is it working for me? And again, I've given various other free presentations over the years on how to go about doing that. But there's more about that later in this presentation. I can show you how to actually get that knowledge so you can start putting it to use for you immediately and make 2020 the best trading year you've ever had. Once you start to systemize your trading, start having a process that you go through, a way of analyzing the market that's consistent on a day-to-day basis, you will start to get consistent results. Consistency is a trader's best friend. You have to be consistent in your approach to the market and in the way you approach trading, in how you do it. You need to find a system that works for you. And that's the beauty of this way of trading. This is a framework of reading the market. And within that framework, you develop your own system, your own strategy, your trading plan. But you read the market. We read the market first. We come up with a game plan, and then we apply our strategy in order to take advantage of the odds. So again, this is the interesting area here. If we break below it, the trend breaks, and we're likely to go to the downside and continue going down, maybe down here, at least down to here. If we turn here, we'll probably continue with the uptrend. But this is where it gets difficult, this zone. Why? Because we're high up on the supply-demand curve in an uptrend. So what's going to win? Is the trend going to win and the uptrend going to win and we're going to continue moving up? Or is the supply going to win and it breaks the trend and we go down? Yeah, that's the question. And you need to look at the price action once you understand it to look for clues of what's winning. If the supply wins, the trend breaks, and that means we're going down. If the trend's intact, then we may break through the supply and continue moving higher. Again, if that makes sense to you, just type a yes in the room. Right, let's look at the pound. This is an interesting one. Now this is another one, another base that we played on the long side from down here before the election results. Yeah. Now, if you understand this, and again, in the trading room, we talked about, again, cast your mind back to what we just did on gold. And is this not exactly the same sort of base? Where over here, we don't go back down to the bottom and we turn, we pivot, and then we break above the base. So we're in down here. We're taking profit as it hits supply at 1.35 area on multiple time frames. See this? Even though we look a little bit bullish here because we broke above the supply area on the monthly chart, meaning that the next time back, we could go all the way back up, potentially to 1.5. But this is exactly the play here. If we look at the move preceding the base, then the base, and the move after the base, you will look at these two legs are almost the same. This is about 500 pips, and this is also 500 pips. Yeah, if you look at it from about the break from 1.3 to 1.35, and you go down here from 1.22 to 1.28, almost 1.23, I should say, 1.23 to 1.28. It's about around 500 pips. The base, the break, and notice how the highs getting, the lows getting higher, meaning pressure's building up to break to the upside, plus the preceding move was to the upside, so likely we're going to continue up. And again, that was a trade to take, and you could have been in it ahead of time. Now, what happened pre-election, we got a great opportunity to get in. And I said to everyone in my trading room, and everyone here can say yes, I could switch them on and you can hear them saying yes, 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 you said that. Buy the pound this week. Yeah, this week, the previous week, last week. Any pullbacks to demand, buy. Yeah, and obviously put your stop low enough so you don't get stopped out. And this was the last one just beforehand that came down to this area of demand. And price direction change, and you're in before the news comes out, and it shot up, I think, around 400 pips, 350 pips, as the market switched over and rolled over, and the initial kind of election results, before the results came out, yeah. So the market shot up, and what happened over here, the trend starts to change, and we go down. And yesterday we played a trade here on the short side. We shorted this move up to break this area, because you have to understand the demand is going to break at some point, and you have to understand why. If you understand how to read supply and demand, you understand the odds are we're going to break here, and there's the break, there's the move back, and there's the entry down to this area, there's the bounce, and someone in our trading room I think took this today on the short side. This is happening on the US market open here. It went straight down. We've cleared below this area, so moves up, sellable for the time being until we get down to the next demand level, which we're coming into now on the 4-hour chart and on the daily chart. So where's the pound likely to go this coming year? You saw where it's gone This year, it's, let's have a look. If we go back to it originally came to the downside. Yeah, it started off, moved up, and then turned here to the downside, went down, and we pointed out that around this 1.2 area, you want to be on the long side because the risk is tiny, and if it does turn up from here, you can have a massive trade. So for 1.2, if you took it up to 1.3, it's 1,000 pips, and we pointed this trade out, and again, direction to the upside here changed. High probability buy. Look what happened the month straight after. We went straight up. Little tail giving you an ability to get in on the buy side, pull back down into this area, and here we tried to go down and then boop, we popped. This is the basing area on the lower time frames. Okay, so that's the outlook for what we've looked at going backwards and going forwards. So we've looked backwards and we've looked forwards. What I want to do now is go over how to prepare for 2020. What you need to do. So what you need to do is review your trading plan your trading plan of 2019. Now, if you don't have a trading plan, then just type no plan in the trading in the chat area now. If you don't have a trading plan, just type no plan. And you really need to have a plan before you start trading in 2020. So what you need to do is review your trading plan. Okay, and if you don't have a trading plan, you should not be trading. Remember, you need a plan, you need a process, you need a framework. You need a framework, you need a process. I'm going to share with you how to get that very shortly. Then you want to review your trading log of 2019. You want to see, how did you do? What was your average winner, average loser? Which strategies were working for you, which weren't? And then what you want to do is review your trading journal. Trading journal is things like how well you followed your trading plan. How many times did you deviate? How many mistakes did you make? What was the cause of that? Why did you get out of that trade too soon? Why didn't you stay in long enough? Why did you get out when it went against you before it hit your stop and then it turned around to the profit? What was going through your emotions? What were you thinking? Again, you need to journal that so you know what's causing you to make the decisions you make. It's very difficult in real time to kind of grasp what's going on. But if you take it out and write it down as it's happening, you're able to review it later and see what's causing you to make those decisions, right or wrong, and then you can make changes. Because if you keep doing the same thing and you don't know exactly what you're doing or why you're doing it, you'll keep repeating the same results. You'll be in what we call hopium mode. You'll be in hope mode. We call that hopium. And hopium is a very dangerous drug for traders. You never want to be in hopium. Hope as a trader is you're finished. You never want to be in hope. You want to have everything that's calculated. You want to be cool, calm, and calculated. And everything planned out before you do anything. And you want to track how well that's working for you. You want to go over once you've got all this information. And again, I have a training that I'll share with you how to do it that will take you step by step through. This is what I call the framework you need. You need a plan, a log, and a journal. That's a trading framework. How do you use that to catapult yourself forward as a trader so you don't keep making the same mistakes and doing the same things wrong and not knowing exactly what it is, as I've said before? You want to keep moving like a spiral. You want to spiral up. You want to go around step by step. But every time you go around and do the same trades, on the day by day, you want to be moving up. You don't want to be going round and round in circles. You want to be like a spiral. You want to be going round and round, but upwards, okay? Not round and potentially downwards, or going round and round and ending up in the same place. A lot of people do. I have people that come to me with 10 years trading experience, but that's really 1 year repeated 10 times because they've never moved out of that circle. Around and around and around doing the same thing every year for 10 years. You'll never get anywhere doing that. You need to make sure you're spiraling, you're going up, you're moving around, but getting better every time. Again, remember, trading is a process. It's a journey. You can't get to the end to become a successful trader without going through the journey. It's impossible. And every trader, and I know Mike was telling his story, a part of his story, of what he went through in order to get where he is now. And everyone's got a story, and some are very interesting. of the work that we needed to do on ourselves in order to get ourselves into the place we needed to be to become successful as traders. What do I still need to work on? Again, you need to have an idea of what you need to work on, and that needs to be what you're going to plan for 2020. I'm going to work on this. Now, it's impossible to work on everything at once. You need to know how to approach working on your trading demons. How do I get rid of them one by one? How do I do it? You need to have a plan of action. And I'm going to share with you how to get that plan of action that is proven to work for almost anyone that goes through the process. And once you've got all that, you want to start planning 2020. Make sure that 2020 is not a hindsight year. Make sure that 2020 is going to be the year that you're going to use to look forward with good hindsight, saying this is the year that changed my trading forever, and now I can achieve what I want because I've achieved success as a trader. I have some traders that have come to me. I have a man who's, I think he's in his 80s. I have some traders that are in their 80s. He doesn't need to trade because he needs the money. It's a challenge for him. He wants to do it to succeed. He has grandchildren that are trading. And I don't know if he's in this room now, but it's incredible. He's doing it because it's a challenge. He's retired and he's looking for something challenging to do. And he's doing very well. He's someone who is in physical tip-top shape. He still goes to the gym. His mind is sharp and it's incredible. Trading could keep your mind sharp as you get older. Keep your brain ticking over. And again, you need to make sure as you get older in life that you remain active physically and mentally. And I saw that because many years ago, I used to go swimming with my grandfather. And at that time, we're talking about like a long time ago, over 20 years ago, when we used to live in the same city, I used to go swimming with him. And he was the youngest person there in his 60s. I was in his mid-60s then. And there were people in the 90s swimming, in the 80s and 90s. And I spoke to them. They were physically in good shape and they were mentally sharp because they never stopped studying. Every day they continued to learn new things. They kept their minds active and they kept themselves physically active. So they got to old age in good condition. So let me share with you one successful story. And this is an amazing success story. This trader, Jane, came to me almost 2 years ago, the beginning of 2018. And when she came to me, she had, I think, a $10,000 account, and she managed, after going through part of the training, to turn that $10,000 into $50,000 in 6 months. And she continues to produce those results 2 years on. And she's increased that. She's making much more than that now. And this is what she wrote. I don't know how to begin to say thank you, Simon, for having made such a big change in my life. In short, I'd been trading binary options successfully when it was banned last December, and you can see the time, this was like over 2 years ago. So wanted to learn to trade properly. Contacted Simon after watching his Where is the Dollar Going Next videos, and I must add that they were so accurate, I knew that finally I'd found someone who really knew what he was talking about. We chatted on Skype a few times, and I decided to join the trading room for a trial. Due to having a full-time job, I couldn't really join during the week. But the few times I did, it was incredible. I just watched what Simon did, how he used the levels to place his trades. This was something completely new to me after having only traded binary previously. I was amazed at what I saw. Simon contacted me again after the trial was over, and after another few Skype calls, I did his pivot analysis training. All I can say to anyone who wants to consistently profit, just do it. That training turned my whole trading around. From that day on, my trading has been so consistent, it is mind-blowing. Once you understand the levels and can read the trend, you will beat the market every single day. However, the key is follow the pivot analysis, use the supply-demand levels and adapt it to your own trading style. Be very disciplined, don't be greedy. Stop when you have made your daily profit and you will turn losing trades into winning consistently day in and out. Simon's training can be adapted to any market. I mainly trade the Nasdaq and oil futures. I use my own strategy based on Simon's education. I found the best thing was knowing what you are doing gives you confidence in the trades, and the fear of losing was gone. Trading had become a lifestyle, no longer a binary gamble or a nervous hope job. Believe me, it is the best and the only training to succeed with. Do you want to know how to apply this simple and powerful approach to identify big moves in the market before most do, like we just showed you how? Take it a step further and get on the fast track to doing this for yourself. So what we're going to do is we're going to step inside the members portal for Learn How to Trade Professionally. Now again, this training I mostly only offer once a year, and if you stay to the end, you will see there's extra bonuses that I'm throwing in this time and a price that I've never ever offered before to make it accessible for those that are willing to take the next step. And again, this could be life-changing for you, and it could be exactly what you've been looking for since you started your journey to become a successful trader, but have been so frustrated with all the education you've got up to now and all the gurus out there, and nothing seems to work for you. Because it may work for the person that's teaching you, but it doesn't work for you because it doesn't fit your personality or your lifestyle. This approach teaches you a methodology, teaches you a framework, which will 100% be able to fit any personality because you make it fit your personality. You adjust it to fit you and find what works for you within the framework. So what I'm going to do is share with you how to do that. So the how to trade professionally is made up of two parts. And let me step into the members area and I'll show you exactly what we mean. So firstly, if you go and click on members over here, it will bring you to the members area. Now, we have a help desk. You can click on the help desk over here and you can open up a ticket. You can arrange a Skype call with me if you want. So what you do is open up a ticket over here, put your details in, select which department. If you want to ask a question before buying, or you want a free consultation, or you want support on anything, then again, this is one way of doing it. You can always send me an email as well to simon@tradesmartforex.com. So let's step into the members area. Now, this is a membership portal. And again, you log in once you get your login details, and you have access to the TRADESMART education part, which is Learn How to Trade Professionally. So if we click into there, that brings you to this. Now, Learn How to Trade Professionally is made up of two areas. This one, How to Read the Market Professionally, is where it teaches you the framework for reading the market. Remember, you've got a section on how to read the trend, which is pivot analysis. We have 3 sessions on supply and demand analysis, which will take you through how to identify every single type of supply and demand there is in the market and how to go about drawing those zones so you know where they are. And again, you will see when you start doing it well, the market will just turn at those levels like you've seen on my charts. Price direction analysis, which is a training that you won't find anywhere else, which will teach you how to identify changes in direction of price based on price action alone, based on the candlesticks. You will know when price is now turning to the upside or turning to the downside. Much like if you get into a lift and the arrow's pointing up and you want to go down, you don't get into the lift. You wait until the arrow's pointing down, you get in, and it goes down most of the time. So this is the training. Now, how to run a trading business, which is the second part, which is how to go about creating your own trading strategy. Once you have a framework for reading the market, how do you take that and run a trading business? It's not enough just to know how to read the market. How do you derive from that a strategy for yourself that fits you? And how do you go about testing that strategy works before you deploy it in the live market and, put real money into it, put real risk on? You've got to go through a process of developing your own strategy, of testing it, and then once you've proven it works, deploying it into the live market, but doing it with small risk. There's a way to do it. And then when you've finally proven that you can actually trade it, because it may work, but you might not be able to pull it off, you may need to adjust it or make some changes, then you're ready to start trading. Now, you need to understand what the trading framework is. We touched on that, the trading plan, trading journal, and trading log. And the process you need to go through. There's a whole training on that. On how do you build that trading plan? What do you log in the log? How do you journal? in the right way? And how do you journal in a way that's going to help you feed back into your trading? And remember what we said earlier, to be able to spiral up, to improve. You want to know that you're improving on a day by day, week by week, year by year basis, or month by month basis. If you do and you're still not profitable, you're going to feel good because you know you're making progress. You need to wait to track that, to track your progress as a trader. So if you don't, it's a very difficult thing to become a successful trader, because in the process of becoming a successful trader, you're probably losing money, and it's very frustrating. Yeah. But you need to have some light at the end of the tunnel. You need to have some light in the tunnel. Otherwise you'll just give up. You think, I'm just losing money every day. It's soul destroying. It's very frustrating. It can completely destroy you as a person because you were so successful in every other career you had in your life. I mean, I've trained doctors. Doctors try to revive the patient no matter what. But imagine trying to revive a losing trade no matter what. It's not the right thing to do in that situation. You want to kill it as soon as possible. Tell that to a doctor. Doesn't work. The doctors train differently. So you have to understand, in trading, there's different ways to do things. You have to cut a losing trade. It's very difficult to a doctor. You've got to try and revive it. Got to keep it going. And I can tell you, there was one person I worked with on the trading floor who was on the same trading floor, different location, same company. And he lost all his money on one trade. And it was Lehman Brothers, when Lehman Brothers went down to zero, because he was buying as it was dropping, buying as it was dropping. It never went back up. It went all the way down to nothing. He lost over $1 million on that trade, because the way he was trading was flawed. All it takes is one mistake in a flawed system, one time, to knock you out. It may work many times, but you don't want to have a flawed trading system. How do you make sure your system is not flawed? And then we go through, very interesting, money management, risk management, the three managements, and trade management. How do you go about managing money risk? How much money do you risk overall? And again, what's your overall plan? Not just your trading plan. How do you risk? How much do you risk on a trade? Once you're deciding how much money do you put on a trade? Some people don't know. Some people even say as much as 5%. That's ludicrous, in my opinion. If you have 4 losing trades in a row, you're down 20%, and that can definitely happen to you. And it will happen to you. Even with the best trading system. Much like flicking a coin, it's 50-50. It's not going to come out heads, tails, is it? Exactly 50-50. It will do over enough throws of a coin. It will land half the time on heads, half the time on tails. If it's it's not a weighted coin, if it's a regular, 50-50 odds. But it doesn't mean you can't get heads. Of course you can. And trading psychology. How do you overcome issues that you may have on the psychology front? Now, if you don't know what you're doing, you're probably going to amplify any trading psychology issues or any psychology issues that you have as a human being. Wouldn't it be better to start trading the right way so you don't have to unlearn bad habits? Start with the correct habits. Start this way, the correct way, with a framework, with a process, from reading the market and to actually running your trading business. And you know what you're doing every day. You feel like a professional again. You don't feel like you're just gambling, which if you don't do it like this, you probably are gambling. Every trade you're hoping to make back the money that you lost on the previous trades. You're going into every trade with baggage from the previous trade. You wouldn't run a business like that. No successful business runs like that. You wouldn't want to go to a dentist who was like thinking about how much money he's going to make by pulling your tooth out or putting a root canal in or doing a root canal or whatever else. You want a dentist who's going to do a good job. The money's the second thing. The fact as traders that we're dealing with money, but that's not your focus when you're trading. You want to become the best trader you can be for you. There's a framework. There's a process you need to learn. This is it. It's a proven framework that works. You just need to learn it and then apply it. And you will find that it will bring calm to your trading. It will make you feel professional as a trader. You know what you're doing now, and you know how to read the market. So each of these trainings, for example, if we go to how to read the trend, you'll see there's a video here. It's a recording of a session that I did with a group of traders a number of years ago, and you can actually This one's an hour and 40 minutes. And again, I'll go through exactly what that entails. So that's basically the education part. Now, I'm not just leaving you by yourself. You can come into our live trading room. Remember, if we go to the portal here, this is all the education. You can go through it as many times as you want. You've got it there. It's a resource for you to use, to come back to refresh yourself. You can listen to it many times. I remember Jane telling me she went through the How to Read the Trend training about 50 times. She went through it. And every time she went through it, she saw something new. As you grow as a trader and you go through the education again, you may see things or understand things subtly different to that you may have missed the previous time, because you're growing as a trader. And it speaks to you, it resonates with you, it helps you move a step forward, which is what you want to do. You need to pick up momentum. You need to make sure you're always moving in the right direction, that you're growing. That way you can go to bed at night knowing you did a good day's work, even if your P&L doesn't reflect that you made profit, that you were positive. You can go to bed at night feeling good that you're progressing as a trader on your journey. And again, it's much easier nowadays than when I first started, when you can actually trade very small size. When I started, it was full size lots. There was no such thing as, taking odd lots or micro lots. It didn't exist. It was full lots and that was it. And then we come into the trading room. Now the trading room is a wonderful resource for you to see how professional traders trade and approach the market, and everything you've learned here we put into practice on a day-by-day to find winning trades. And sometimes we have losing trades as well, but how we approach losing trades. You'll see us take losing trades, you'll see us take trades that don't go to profit, but we're following a plan, so we're good with it. We're not nervous about it. You will see us taking trades in real time, and we're relaxed because we're following a plan. So let me take you into the trading room. The trading room's over here. So we have two aspects to the trading. We have the live room, and then we have the recordings of what went on. So the live room, you're going over here, and you can see you just register once, much like you registered for this webinar, and you can see our schedule here, and then you also get a reminder email just like you did here, and you enter the room, and it's very similar to this, except everyone's interacting. You can see everyone else's comments, you can speak with other people, connect. We just had 2 people from Sweden connect with each other this week. So, and it's wonderful. You can build friendships with other people and be in a group of people that everyone's moving in that direction. We're all working on becoming successful traders, and everyone's helping everyone. It's a wonderful room of great people. Now, that's the schedule if you want to be in the live room. Now, every daily session is recorded, so if you miss it, you can go and watch. This is today's session. And very importantly, we have a weekly preparation session, which is done when the market is closed, where we set our supply demand zones and have a game plan for the week. And we identify trades like gold. If you go back and look at, if you could go back, because we just keep the previous week and the current week. But if you go back and look at the archives, you will see us mentioning gold as it was setting up. Go on the long side, look to take a long during the week, and everything like that, and the market. And all the trades that we pointed out, we mention them as they're setting up in the week. So that's basically our membership area. And you can always, again, we have our support, our help desk that you can always, and even do that now. You don't have to be a member to post a question or in the help desk. And we'll get back to you as soon as possible, and you can also arrange a Skype call. So let's get back into this. So that's the membership area and the membership portal. So let's go back to what people are saying. So Tom, I wanted to say I think what you teach in How to Read the Trend training course is brilliant. Before that, I had picked up bits and pieces from different traders, but it was never joined up. Your course brought it all together in a very structured and algorithmic way. No guessing needed. The facts jump off the chart. You are a mastermind. Francesco, when I first watched the How to Read the Trend module, I must admit that I did not appreciate the power of pivots and their interrelationship with supply and demand. Honestly, I thought it was more of a good education module for beginners, talking about what a candle is. And that, of course, I was smart enough to be able to read the trend already. Now, after having been a few days in the live trading room and seeing some pretty uncanny results from the past at least, my first week did not have much action per se, something clicked. So I decided to rewatch the first education module. Now I can see that it is really a lot more powerful than it first appeared to be to me, and it is quite deep. Sometimes we don't see what is right in front of our noses, as the old saying goes. I would say now that I know things about reading the trend that I did not have a clue about before doing your first module. So the first thing I'm thinking is, why didn't I do this 25 years ago when I started? Yangos, I'm a newbie in the stock market and had no experience or confidence at all. I began my training by watching videos and joining brokers because I needed to start from somewhere, but it all looked like a giant mountain to me until I was lucky enough to meet Simon. I really struggle with trusting people, but his integrity is like no other. I trusted him, and just some weeks later I feel that I can make magic happen. When everybody else is telling you all the wrong things, Simon stands out from the crowd and tells you where you should really focus in order to become a successful trader. It's been a real pleasure being trained by you, Simon. So with this knowledge, you're going to be able to read any market, Forex, futures, stocks, it doesn't matter as long as you can chart it, develop your own trading strategies, manage your risk, correctly place stops, and that's a big topic in and of itself. Nothing more frustrating than putting a stop in place, getting stopped out because it's not in the right place, and the market going on to your target and you watch on the sidelines. That is frustrating. Trade with the odds in your favor. You want to trade with confidence because you know exactly what you're doing, and much, much more. Gerard, from day one, I was impressed with the level of training I received and the way it was delivered as well. You came down to my level and explained things in simple terms that I can relate to and clearly understand. The wealth of information contained in your training is unbelievable and outstanding. When you said that I will be amazed at the training, I said to myself, what else can he say since he's the one delivering the training? To be honest, I was blown away by what I was receiving in just part one of our training session. I cannot wait to start the rest of the training. I am grateful that I met you at the beginning of my journey into trading. I lost some money before meeting you. I would have lost even more had I not got an education and training from you to put the odds in my favor. So this is what you get in this training. It's 10 sessions. There's 5 in how to read the market professionally and 5 in how to run a trading business. Over 15 hours of training. It's not too long. Again, time's very valuable here. You want to get what you need to know as quickly as possible and with no superfluous fluff. This is exactly what you need to know, and you don't need anything else to become a successful trader. It's on demand, as I showed you before. You can watch it as many times as you want. You can watch at your own pace. Again, you can do it as and when fits you. You also get personalized support. Simon is probably one of the best coaches out there with a heartfelt passion for coaching and a real understanding of how the market works. He helps you view everything in a new way. The way he teaches is also really good, and he goes through it until you understand. I can honestly say that I've gotten more out of this training than I expected. Thanks a lot, Simon. So here's the offer. What I'm doing now, and I've never offered it at this price. Last year I offered it at $2,000 off at $7,997. This year I'm offering it at $4,500 off. And there's a special coupon to put in at the checkout special. Yeah, so I'm offering it $5,497, and there's different payment options as well. You'll see that on the page. So let me show you the checkout process, and again, click on the side and follow along with me, okay, so you know what you're doing. It's pretty simple, but just in case. So let me pull this up. Okay, so when you click on, you come to this page here, learn how to trade professionally, and again, you can see all the things that we're going to be covering here. And what I'm also throwing in is a 3-month bonus. You can see that here to the live trading room. Again, the live trading room sells at $497 a month if you pay for it on a month-by-month basis. So that's $1,491 that you're going to get for free. Okay, you don't have to pay for that. You're going to come and join straight away. You can ask all your questions you want real time, and everyone who's in the trading room does. And there's some very good successful traders in the trading room as well that will share their trades with you when they're doing them as well. So you click on this buy now, and that brings you to the checkout. Now you see there's options over here. Now you fill out all your details, and you can pick a one-time payment. That's usually the most cost effective, or you can do it in 4 installments or 6 installments. And again, it's the same price off. You're going to get $4,500 off. So all you need to do is type in the coupon code here, which is special. So if you type in special, click apply. You can do it now, nothing's going to happen. You can see the price that you pay today is $5,497. You're going to get $4,500 off. Now that's real value because people are actually paying $5,000 for each of those courses separately without the trading room. Plus you're getting the trading room. It's a special end of year kind of offer that I do usually once a year. So to get this offer again, you'll probably have to wait another year. Okay, so if you want to get everything that you need to become successful as a trader and come and join a group of successful traders, that's what you do. And you click on submit payment. It will bring you to PayPal. And again, you don't have to have a PayPal account. You put your details in and bingo, you can get access immediately to this. You'll be able to access once you get your username and password. It's the same username and password for both. You log in and then you've got access to everything you can possibly need to become a successful trader. A special bonus is 3 months free in the live trading room. So imagine you get today, let's go through this, that's 1491. Imagine you get today, learn how to trade professionally. The actual price is $9,997. Okay, you get that today, 3 months in the live trading room. The total is $11,488. Today you pay basically half of that, $5,497. Thanks a lot everyone, and I look forward to seeing you in the trading room tomorrow.